Top 3 tips for loving your gay self. My name is Kevin Kasir, and I'm a gay life coach. And just like the title says, let's just get right into it. So, my first piece of advice would be focus on the positive in gay culture. There's definitely some toxic traits, some negative things, just like with any culture, there is. And it's good to be aware of those. It's good to know what to avoid and what to be aware of. But I know a lot of people, they focus solely on trying to be as distant and separate from gay culture as they could be. And the fact of the matter is, if you try to hate the culture that much and only focus on the bad things, you're going to hate a part of yourself. Once again, yes, there are some toxic traits about it. Be aware of that and avoid those parts of it. But as much as you can call out those parts, you can also put yourself closer to the parts you enjoy. There's a lot of good parts about gay culture, such as the freedom and the openness, how a lot of things are not taboo, and just this feeling of community, which I know some people say there isn't a feeling of community, but coming from someone who has found that, you will definitely be able to find some sense of community if you put yourself out there. There's no way you are the only gay person like you out there. So, once again, tip number one is focus on the positive in gay culture, be aware of the negatives, but don't make that all you ever talk about. My second tip is to get more involved or consume gay media. Books, movies, TV shows, get more into things like that. I would definitely recommend Paris is Burning. That is like a cultural foundation, talks about drag, talks about ballroom culture. It's back in the 80s. It's a real documentary with real people, and it's really great. It really just teaches you the fundamentals of what gay people had to go through to get where we are nowadays. So there's some good things that happen in there, so there's some bad things that happen in there. But once again, these are real people's lives and real people's lives who are ending too. Because back in the 80s, that's when gay bashing was more of a thing. So it involves not only gay people, but trans people. And our lives are so intertwined. So I think it's really good to have both of that. Another thing that I would recommend is RuPaul's Drag Race. If you don't want to watch this, that is okay. This is just my recommendation because for me, watching RuPaul's Drag Race really helped me connect with other gay people. It helped me go watch RuPaul's Drag Race live at a bar and mingle with strangers I don't even know because we could talk about this show. Some people I ended up having more of like a relationship or being friends with, and most people we just made a little comment or two and then continued watching the show. If you don't want to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, there's also things like Pose. I really like that. American Horror Story has kind of become like this queer thing, but when it comes to building community, I think watching RuPaul's Drag Race is the best at helping you build and fit into the community. Yes, not every gay guy watches RuPaul's Drag Race, but for the ones that do, it's an easy way in to the social scene. So once again, watching more or reading more gay media, whether it's books, movies, TV shows, all that. One more book that a lot of people read, it's more like a self-help thing, is The Velvet Rage. So that is something that talks about a gay man growing up and, his life choices and where it's gotten him to. It's a true book. It's a nonfiction retelling of his own life, so it's not like a fake story. But you could also check that one out. That's one thing that a lot of gay people do talk about as well. Yeah. So my third tip is this for sure. What I think is the most important is have a platonic gay friend, at least one. Having a platonic gay friend, that means someone you're not trying to hook up with, someone you're not trying to eventually date and fall in love with. Having a very defined, we are never going to do anything more than be just friends, friend. I think that is so helpful. There are so many things that I feel like before we have gay friends, we think is so weird about ourselves, or that no one would accept, or that we're freaks or perverts or stuff like that. But it wasn't until I started having platonic gay friends that I started talking about these things. And they're like, oh, no, that's not weird. I used to do that all the time. Or, oh, I always felt like that too. And it was really helpful for me realizing, like, I'm not some freak, you know? I actually share this experience with my people more than I thought. And it really helped me just feel more at peace with who I am. And it helped me feel more comfortable meeting more gay people too, whether it was platonic or not. Having that first platonic foundation of a friend that I'm not trying to do something with later, it really helped me when I was meeting guys that I was trying to date, or when I was meeting other guys that I was interested in only as a friend. So that for sure, there's so many benefits to having a gay friend, and it really boils down to all of the things I mentioned before. You could go to gay events with a gay friend. You could notice more positives in the gay community when you have a real life example of someone who has those positives in front of you. I know people say that the gay community is superficial and all these things, and many people in it are. But if you find someone who isn't and they fit your type of person, you will feel more compassionate towards the community as a whole. And last but not least, it's always just good to feel like you have someone to hang out with and to have fun with. And as a gay person, when you meet more gay people, you'll realize there's more things that you could connect with them than with anyone else. Even if you're just like me and you grew up with so many really close friends who were straight men or straight girls, there's still just this next level barrier. And I was always very, very open with my friends. It felt like there was no barrier. But once I met those gay friends, it really just opened up a whole new world in myself. So, once again, those are my 3 tips for really loving yourself as a gay person. If you want to hear more, you could check me out, Kevin Kasir, on social media, same as my YouTube. That is where you can message me if you're interested in my 3-month coaching program. And up until then, I wish you the best. I hope you all, the best in finding and loving your gay self. Thanks, gays.